Welcome. Today I want to discuss with you something that will also help you keep your friends, something that will help you keep your associates, something that will help you keep those that are close to you close. And anything you do other than this might also cause a lot of problem and rancor in your human interactional behavior with those you come across with in life, which is how to manage debt. Debt. Naturally, a lot of people don't like paying debts. A lot of people, when they owe you, they don't like paying back. And it is easy for a lot of people also to seek for debt. Please loan me this particular amount of money, I'm going to pay you back. But when it comes to the time of paying, you find out that they do not want to pay. Why? Because we all love to keep money in our hands for a very long time. And some don't even, basically, they don't even have the capacity to pay back that loan. So one thing I want to say before I even go further is that in the Western world, in places like the United States, UK, and in the Western world, you find out that they have their credit card, and you get the amount of credit you get is linked to your credit worthiness. So if you are worthy of let's say $1,000, you get 1,000. You have the chance of borrowing $1,000. If you are credit worthy of $10,000, so it depends on that, and that is built upon a reputation. Probably your mortgage. If you've been paying your mortgage at the right time, all the debts you've accrued, everything that is linked to your credit card, if you've been paying at the right time, your credit worthiness keeps on going up. So the next time you want to borrow somebody money, you need to check their credit worthiness. So you can't meet somebody today and borrow that person money tomorrow. That person, you are going to end up fighting over that. So to avoid the turning somebody you just met into a foe through debt, number one is for you to check the credit worthiness of that person. And how do you check the credit worthiness of that person? Well, number one way to check it is for you to speak with associates, those that you know that are close to that person. If that person is borrowing money from you for the first time, probably, and you just met, definitely that person must have tried to borrow money from a host of other people that are also close to them. This happened in a place where I worked early when I got to Abuja, that somebody came to me, borrowed a few thousand, and later when people heard, they shouted, "Why didn't you ask us? Why did this guy does not pay debt? This guy does not pay debt. He's owing so person, he's owing so person, he's owing so person." So if I had just taken the initiative of asking one or two members of staff in that particular place, they would have told me the type of person that person is, and I would not have found myself in the problem I found myself. So that is the first thing I want to speak about, for you to check the reputation of the person you are about to borrow money. And a lot of people, this was also told to me by an elderly man, that he had a friend, they've been friends for more than 50 years. And at a point in time, there was somebody gave them money for both of them to share. And an elderly man who is much elderly than the two of them came there, "Quickly go and collect your money from so person." He said he felt embarrassed that, why is this man coming to me to tell me to? He's my friend now, and I don't think he's a bad person. So at the end of the day, he went and he quickly collected, because he didn't want to embarrass the elderly man that came to tell him that, "Go and collect your money." Oh. It said it was later on that money now, they had the transactions between themselves, that he now saw what that elderly man came to tell him the other time. So he now went back to the elderly man and told the elderly man, "Sir, what you told me the other time, I didn't understand, but I'm here to thank you, because later on I've now seen that in truth, my friend relates poorly with money." And he now said, "It's not just your friend, even your father's friend also relates very poorly with money." And that was why when I saw that they gave you money together, I said, "Quickly go and collect your money. If not, you start hearing stories." So a lot of people that are even good in other affairs, when it comes to money, they relate with money very poorly. So you need to understand the credit worthiness of whoever you are about to borrow money. That's the first thing I want you to understand. Number two thing that I want you to understand, that I've implemented, and I've also heard some socially intelligent people around me that they've also implemented, and even some of the scholars I revere a lot that they've also implemented. Don't borrow a money you cannot dash. Don't borrow people money that you cannot dash them. When you borrow people money that you cannot dash them, you end up becoming enemies with them. One of the rationales behind this particular strategy is probably, let's say somebody comes to you and says, "Borrow me 10 naira." And in the 10 naira, you see that this person is actually in need. If you can give the person the 10 naira, just dash the person so that you don't have a discussion concerning where have you paid, why haven't you paid my money, and you guys start having enmity amongst you, between you. The other thing is, if you cannot give the person the 10 naira for free, then if it is 3 naira that is comfortable with you, borrow the person. That the only give the person the only money I have now is I can give you 3 naira. When you when you dash that person that 3 naira, at least, or you can even borrow them, not necessarily dash them. You can say it is 3 naira, I can borrow you. When you borrow them that 3 naira, at least even if they don't pay that 3 naira, it will not affect your own plan for your own money, number one. Number two thing is that if they are also unable to also pay, they won't be able to come to you and ask for more. Because those who are obsessed with borrowing money, once they borrow money from you, they can even still come back, but they won't come back until they've paid this one. So you've set a certain barrier for that person not to be able to come again. And you've also tried your best. Even with Allah, you've tried your best because you've given this person with the intention that you won't even ask this person if this person refuses to pay. And at least you would have solved a part of that person's problem. And the major reason why I'm saying this is most especially friends and families. I've heard even some researchers are of the opinion that you should not borrow your family and friends' money because it will end up destroying the relationship, and it will the friendship you think you have, the bond will be destroyed. Why? Because a lot of people have this inclination not to pay debt. So the next time somebody comes to you and asks you for you to borrow them money, gauge the amount of money you can dash them. If you can dash them the entire money, just give it to them. If you cannot, then you can say you are even borrowing them, but make sure you are not borrowing them a money that will cause problem in your own life. We've seen a lot of people that they've even taken loans from banks on behalf of their friends, and those friends are unable to pay, and even they themselves, they were unable to pay, and their property had to be seized. Why? Because those people were unable to pay. And even when I was in the university, somebody borrowed money on my account, used my closeness to somebody in the school, borrowed, then it was a small money. Now it's a small money to us now, but then it was a large amount of money, borrowed the money. And it was because that person knows the closeness between myself and that borrower. Borrowed the person money. Till today, that person has not paid a kobo out of that money. I had to pay that money from the project fee I received from my parents. Why? Because the money that person also borrowed him was from the departmental money, was from the departmental purse. So if that money was not paid, he will not be able to graduate. And that was something I could not allow to happen. So I had to starve myself a lot and pay back this money on behalf of that person. So the money you cannot dash, the money you cannot let go of, don't borrow friends and families that you cannot also arrest. Because you can't arrest your family member if they owe you. It will backfire. It will cause enmity in your family. So one of the best ways is, number one, check the credit worthiness of that person by investigating from those who know that person, whether that person is credit worthy or not. If a government can do it, then who are you not to do it? And number two, don't borrow money you cannot let go of. A lot of people that have borrowed money and they cannot let go of money, that friendship now has turned to enmity. And that's not something we want to experience. That's what I want to share with you today in Grow Your Emotional Intelligence. I hope you would implement this and it will make your life easy. Till I see you next time.
Ramadan Mubarak.